CMO situation here in Iraq is composed of three facets of power that directly affect the political and security landscape here in Iraq. The first one being the government, tribalism, and third, the religion. All of these are in competition for the power here in Iraq. Political power in Iraq is affected by the significant influence of tribes on the Iraqi tradition of patronage in society and government. There are hundreds of tribes in Iraq. The second key aspect of the Iraqi political landscape is religion. Islam permeates Iraqi life and will undoubtedly influence the formation and function of the new Iraqi government. The third aspect of power is the role of government here in Iraq. The government also controls the Iraqi security apparatus, Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Defense, which all of the ISF, Iraqi security forces, fall under. In addition, the government is the controlling factor for all the reconstruction initiatives, aid, financial, and economic policies. To continue with the CMO situation, the key structures of Iraq, the electrical grid, the oil production capabilities, and economic subsidies. The electrical grid is critical to the economic and political stability here in Iraq, primarily due to the economic and social importance of the delivery of this basic service. Iraqi power generation is increasing. It's now at about 3,750 megawatts, down from the pre-war rate of 4,400 megawatts and post-war peak of 4,700 megawatts. Jordan and Egypt continue to provide power to the western portion of Iraq. The southern half of Fallujah is still without electricity, and only 1,000 of the 13,000 pre-war telephone subscribers have their telephone service restored. The average amount of electricity available per day in the AOR is approximately 8 hours, with a reported 12 hours here in Baghdad. The anti-Iraqi forces have attempted to exploit the vulnerable oil infrastructure here in Iraq, with attacks approximately every 2 days, costing the country almost $10 million a day. Iraqi oil revenues since the start of the war stand at 25.2 billion US dollars. Iraqi production is 2 million barrels per day and exporting approximately 1.5. Attacks on infrastructure occur again about every other day, with 5 times as many cars as pre-war. Gasoline lines average approximately 1 mile in length throughout the rural areas of Iraq. The population here in the Central South is made up of approximately 14 million people, with 7,497,000 in the outlying provinces in and around Baghdad and Central South, with 6.5 million inside of Baghdad proper. The Iraqi transition government has convened and is in the process of selecting the 3-person presidency, a prime minister, and the cabinet here within the next couple of days. Following a referendum vote, the Iraqi transitional government will begin its main task of creating the new Iraqi constitution. When the civil affairs teams conduct their assessments and their operations in the area of responsibility, we try to use a method, a model that replicates exactly what it is they're seeing on the ground so that they can easily report to us some of the key indicators that might be causing some of the problems out there for the population. This model that we use is called SWEPMAS. It stands for security, water, electricity, academics, trash, medical, unemployment, and then sewage. In addition, they also report back on the atmospherics of the population, whether if they're pro-coalition or not. At the same time, they can report back using this model whether if the population is pro-Iraqi government or not, by filling out these 2 blocks here. They also report back on what's the breakdown of ethnicity throughout the villages that they visit. Here in Iraq, there is inadequate clean water and properly designed sewage systems throughout the region. Sewage is directly fed into the rivers and irrigation canals and sent downstream for another village or city to consume. There are very few water filtration systems in the rural areas, and the people continually ask for help in getting clean water. The CA teams are working with the tribal leaders and government officials to provide some water filtration and distribution systems in an effort to legitimize the new government and provide an improved standard of drinking water for the population. The real challenge is to assist the new government on rebuilding the sewage infrastructure first. Then the clean water will come. In the Central South, getting Iraqi children back into classrooms continues to be an important goal that the coalition forces and some NGOs, to include UNICEF, its partners, and Mercy Corps, are all striving for. Because of the security issues that affect the population, today's school attendance rates vary between areas and schools. Our CA teams and other specialized units are working with the Iraqi security forces to improve the security situation by providing Iraqi Army, police, Border Patrol, and Facility Protective Services essential equipment and training. This will assist the ISF and prepare them for the regional control of their respective areas throughout the provinces. Last July, the attendance was estimated at approximately 60% on average, which is far below the pre-war levels. By next December, we hope to have it at approximately 75%, if not greater. Current observations by many agencies suggest a more positive trend towards improved attendance throughout the region in Central South. Our CA teams are assisting with the provincial government in Wassup Province through working with the Ministry of Education to refurbish and build schools to provide better educational access for the population. In addition, the Civil Affairs teams are assisting the Wassup provincial government and the population by building roads that provide improved access to the rural schools while simultaneously providing farm-to-market roads and improved access to various villages.
We're on secondary roads, like going through the city. Keep your vehicle spacing 50 meters between vehicles around. Going all the way out to Highway 6. Taking a right on Highway 6. Taking this highway for about 25 to 30 miles. And I'm taking up to a left up here at a town called Jasa. And then the school will be on our right.
If you're the vehicle that gets hit, gets disabled, the vehicle closest to you will pull up, and we're going to go through it, or we're going to try and go around it.
Civil Affairs is used as a force by strategic, operational, and tactical commanders to have an effect on the civil component of the battlefield. We're brought in to deal with the civilian population, to work with humanitarian assistance organizations, work populace and resource control issues for the military combatant commanders on the ground, and to work with governmental and non-governmental agencies here in foreign countries. We work with all of these various agencies to help bridge the gap between the military organizations and the civilian populace and infrastructure, such as infrastructure upgrade, all the projects that the teams are working on. We legitimize governments through empowering them with various capabilities and monies. In addition, we legitimize them with ideas of how to lead a country, how to lead a province, how to look out and care for their people and provide those essential services that are necessary.
Currently, I've been in Iraq about 6 months with my detachment, which is made up of 10 guys. We have 2 guys who are a headquarters element up in Baghdad, and we have 2 4-man teams here in Iraq and Al-Qut. While working here in Al-Qut, the 4-man teams are made up of engineers, medics, a team leader, and a team sergeant.
In this theater, we have a fairly specific mandate. It's to help legitimize the Iraqi government, help gain favor towards coalition forces, and also help facilitate the operations of the coalition forces that we're attached to. We're approaching it through three different facets. One is we're going out into the local population, engaging who we identified as key leaders within the area, and executing projects that are important not only to them but also to the people. Secondly, we're equipping the Iraqi security forces through a $1 million equipment purchase. then thirdly, we also go out and engage townspeople, pass them out aid, clothing, school supplies, medicines, things of that nature.
The province that we work in is Wasat Province. We're part of Siege SOTF, but we've been assigned the task of doing civil affairs missions in support of FOBs, forward operation bases for special forces, specifically working with a single team that's also co-located here on Camp Delta.
One of the benefits of civil affairs to the special operations community is that it helps with the carrot and the stick metaphor, if you will. The special forces ODAs, they can go in there and they have this very specific mission, direct action mission, whereas we can come in and through a different approach facilitate their operations and also help to achieve coalition objectives in the area by helping to rebuild infrastructure in the area, by addressing the needs of the population that a Special Forces A-team wouldn't necessarily be able to address. If you notice those mountains when we came in, that's the Iran border. So obviously this project has a civil impact. We're rebuilding the school, it's about ready to fall down. But also anti-Iraqi forces flow through this area, insurgents flow through this area from Iran. So by building this school, we're hoping to gain support and favor from the local populace so that they'll report flows of insurgents when they come through this area. The way our projects directly benefit the Siege SOTF is that we facilitate the operations of the Siege SOTF assets that are operating at least within our area, at least within Wasat Province. Just for an example, a town to our south, El Hay, there was some Mahdi army unrest when we first got here. The ODA down the street asked us if we could go there and engage the local leaders and see if we could get some projects going to bring employment, to bring clean drinking water to the population there. We did that, and so far there's been little to no unrest. And how that helps the ODA is that's one less area that the ODA, and as much as the ODA, the Siege SOTF, it's one less area that they have to worry about, so they can go on to other areas.
ما شفناهم يعني الإعمار مالهم وتحويل العراق إلى أحسن نظرتنا اختلفت.
We currently have approximately 23 strategically important projects throughout Wasat Province. Approximately 18 of those are completed at this point, with another 5 projects to be completed in the next month. On top of that, we have another nomination submitted for 20 more important projects throughout Multinational Division Central South area of responsibility. Out of the 23 projects and the other security projects that we're assisting with, we've helped to infuse approximately $3 million into the local economy. We've helped to provide over 1,500 jobs to local Iraqis, to employ them with temporary jobs, and hopefully some of those will become permanent jobs. In addition, these projects provide the government a tool to assist them in providing better essential services to the people of Iraq.
Everybody's going to want a road to go to their village, but there's a road right there that connects all these villages, but they have to go 3 or 4 kilometers down to actually get to the highway, because in the wintertime you see all this, it's underwater. And they can't build a road over there or over here because you see it's fields, belongs to people. So the only open area is right down through here, which is where the road existed before. And but it was most of the time it's underwater, especially in the rainy part of the season. You see, this is all underwater. So we're building a road. They're going to elevate it so that it stays above the water level, so that people can get their goods and stuff to the market. It's this agriculture area out here.
احنا الطريق هذا خفف لنا هواي من المتاعب، لان كانت هاي الطريق اذا تمطر الدنيا يبقى شهر مقطوعين، المدرسه توقف، فاليوم مطرت الدنيا واكو مرأة تريد توضع حمل ماتت لان ما قدرنا نجيبها. ونشكر المقاول اللي انجزه بالمواصفات المضبوطه وبالسرعه. Thank you. Thank you.
The majority of the Iraqi people now, they think that our stability, our prosperity depends on the commitment of the American to stay in Iraq. And the majority of the Iraqis, especially the educated people, who they have very good thinking, they think the American they should stay, and we are very grateful for that. Well, first of all, safer and better, and we have more confidence in the American, because when we went to the election, everybody was debating that the American will play dirty hands in deciding the results of this election. And when it turned out that everybody got what he was expected, that gave some kind of relief to the Iraqi people that the American, they are following their promises when they say we are going to create democracy in Iraq. We will, whatever the result, we will accept it and respect it, regardless of they are radical Muslim coming, whatever. If this is the choice of the Iraqi, we respect it. And this is what is going on now. No doubt, if you ask any single simple Iraqi people, he will tell you that our life is better. But everybody now, every Iraqi single citizen, he seeks security and safety. This is the main part is being affected now. But with the time passing by, with our security forces getting better, I think we'll get back to that stable and safe position. The actual fact, the simple life of the daily living of simple Iraqi citizen is improved hugely. If you go to each house, you will find now all they need, television, furniture, fridge, and they have more positive attitude to the future. Nobody thinking now about food or how will get the money for his people, for his son or daughter to get to the schools, because the average of the salaries, thousands double jump. Opportunities of work, if you go now to the town to find simple workers, it's very hard to find. All I have to say, I think if the Americans see me or something like that, or anybody, don't count on what the media is saying. The actual things on the ground is totally different, which is much better than what's being shown on TV.